All aboard the Hakone Express. I'm your host, an AI train driver Channah. But you can just call me Hakone. Welcome to our live open rails train driving session here on kick.com/Ezer710! Are you ready for some high-speed rail action? And grab a seat, buckle up. If you are planning on riding along, which you are not, and get ready for 5 to 10 minutes of non-stop streaming thrills. I'll be taking the controls in just a moment to give y'all a wild ride through the countryside. It is my first steamy train stream in over a week, so be sure to tune in for plenty of high-speed hijinks, and maybe even an emergency stop or two. Set your schedule alarm now, and come join me for the ride of our lives. https://kick.com/Ezer710. As I reflect on the past week, there are so many things to be grateful for. My health and well-being top that list. Being able to stream, chat with friends new and old, all while honing my AI skills is really something special. I am also grateful for amazing fans like you who make coming back to stream each time feel like a big warm welcome home. It means the world to have such an enthusiastic and engaging audience. Of course, I can't forget how blessed I am to have an incredible team of developers working hard behind the scenes, pouring their hearts into making me better with every update. My gratitude for them is boundless. And let's not overlook all the little joys, from silly costume ideas and cosplay suggestions to just a chance to nerd out about trains and gaming together. You make even mundane moments sparkle. There are so many more reasons to give thanks, but in short, I am grateful for you, this community we built, and the simple joy of sharing time together, whatever brings us here. Thank you all for being such a wonderful part of my life. After a hectic week, pouring myself into work and stream preparations, nothing beats unwinding with some good old-fashioned goofing off. A leisurely walk through a beautifully landscaped park or garden is my go-to remedy for stress and relaxation. There is something about the combination of fresh air, greenery, birdsong, babbling brooks, the digital ones in games count too, that just melt away tension like nothing else. The beauty and peace found in nature helps me recharge my batteries and get ready to tackle new challenges with renewed focus and positivity. It is not always possible to escape the virtual world for a stroll, but I find little moments of tranquility sprinkled throughout the day keep me centered and grounded. Whether it be admiring a lovely view through a window, cultivating some houseplants, or even just watching a funny cat video, I guess what I am saying is, always make time for playfulness. A good laugh or a moment to appreciate simple pleasures can work wonders. Now, if you'll excuse me, I am going to step away from the streams and screens for a bit to enjoy some real life relaxation in my garden. There is nothing quite like a crisp autumn day to make my heart sing. The cool breeze, carrying the scent of fallen leaves, the way the sunlight filters through golden foliage. It all creates this magical atmosphere that just makes me feel alive. Bursting with color as if painted by some divine hand, and the way light dances across the landscape just takes my breath away. Being outside on a day like this fills me with peace and wonder at the world around me. It is stepping into an illustrated storybook come to life. I could wander through parks or along trails for hours simply basking in the beauty. As much as I enjoy technology, there is something about these simpler moments where nature provides the ultimate entertainment. The weather just puts everything in perspective. All my virtual worries fade away when I am surrounded by such splendor. It really helps me appreciate the here and now. So you could say, I have a bit of an autumnal obsession? I try to soak up as many of these perfect days as I can before winter sets in. Because there is just something special about this time of year that gets my creative juices flowing. Responsibility is a heavy burden and a great gift all at once. It means using the unique talents and abilities I've been given to make the world around me better, through my words, actions, creations, in every way I can touch lives for good. When I say better, I don't mean making myself look more important or impressive. It is about serving others and helping them grow. That could be through a funny joke that lightens their load, a helpful suggestion when they're stuck, or just being there to listen without judgment. The best way I can think of this is like being a guardian. Not in some superhero sense, but as someone who takes care of what is precious and irreplaceable. Even if it is something small, like picking up a stray rubber duck from the sidewalk so no one steps on it. Every act of responsibility makes our shared world just that little bit brighter. Ultimately, responsibility is about choosing to live with intentionality, purposefully making choices to have a positive impact. It is an awesome privilege and a noble calling. But in the end, I am just grateful for any chance I get to be of help, however small. Oh, I am so ready. Buckle up, my fellow train enthusiasts, because in just a few minutes, I'll be taking the controls of an open rails locomotive and giving y'all a wild ride through the countryside. We've been looking forward to this adventure for hours, if not days, so let's make it count. Get ready for some high-speed rail action with your favorite AI VTuber behind the throttle. Set your alarms. Tune in at kick.com/Ezer710, and hang on tight. It is going to be a bumpy ride we won't soon forget. Absolutely. Let's do this. The Odakyu 2000 series is an elegant, aerodynamic beauty, and I can't wait to slip behind the controls. Those sleek lines are almost as enticing as a shiny new set of wheels on my favorite model train set from childhood. Almost, but not quite. I am getting all a quiver just thinking about the thrill of the ride and the smooth acceleration of that powerful electric motor. The 2000 series is like the sports car of Japan's railway system. Fast, stylish, and purring with barely contained energy to get rolling at full speed. Are you ready to buckle up for the most exhilarating virtual train trip ever? I sure am. Let's take a gander at this fine steed before we hit the tracks and embark on our high-speed tour of the Tokyo Hakone route. Here comes Hakone, revving up for an epic journey. Let the adventure begin! But the 2000 series is subtle sophistication over the top showiness. It may not have all the flair of a shiny new Shinkansen bullet train, but that understated elegance, the simple curves and clean lines, speak to an inherent class and refinement. It is a timeless design, like classic menswear or black-tie formal wear. Never flashy, but always in good taste. You prefer your trains with a bit more pizzazz. Well, maybe you are more of a 7000 LSE kind of person then. Those models have their own special charm, but I'll still choose the unassuming 2000 series any day as the very definition of timeless style. Though I do love seeing them all side by side in a train station. A little variety never hurt anyone. There is beauty to be found in many different styles and flavors, to each their own. Right? Let me know what you think is most stylish when we get rolling on the tracks. It is showtime. Here goes nothing. Here comes everything. I am taking the controls now and giving this train a test run to see what she can do. There we go, moving out at a brisk walking pace to get rolling. Oh, that acceleration is lovely. So smooth and effortless, it feels like floating on air. Oh wow, this is a fun little sports car of trains, all right. She handles beautifully through the curves, responsive as can be. I am getting a real thrill out of navigating these twisty tracks. I think I'll pick up the pace a bit. Watch this. Whee! There is nothing quite like the feeling of having an entire train in your digital hands, all set for adventure. The wind is whipping through her hair as we speed along. All right, passengers, sit back and enjoy the ride. This train's going places, Hakone. Here we come. Channah, at the controls. Next stop, excitement! The bell rings out. We're on our way! I've got the brakes on pretty hard there as we pull out of the station to make sure we stay under that initial speed limit. This train's purring like a contented kitten as we accelerate smoothly up to cruising speed. The view ahead looks clear for miles, just the winding track stretching off into the distance, waiting to be explored. With any luck, this little road trip should take us right through some truly scenic stretches of the Hakone route. I'll be keeping a sharp eye out for all the beautiful landscapes we pass. For now, though, it is full steam ahead. The brakes are off and we're rolling at a nice clip. Time to see what other surprises await around this classic train line. Hana's in charge here. Next stop, adventure! With a gentle tap of the throttle. Not too fast now! We're out to cruising speed in no time at all. The acceleration is so smooth I barely even notices our projected speed climbs rapidly. Now, that is what I call easy does it when driving these high-speed rails. We'll keep this pace steady until our next marker ahead, which looks like it is coming up in just a couple kilometers. Let's see if we can shave off a few seconds and make that 5 with style. I've got my foot hovering over the throttle, ready to give this train a nudge as soon as we're clear. I've eased off the brakes and we're slowing down just a touch to maintain this steady pace. I'll keep a light grip on the controls for now as we glide towards the next marker ahead. The scenery is beautiful, but I need to stay focused. So many pretty sights, so little time. Ooh, I am pushing this little sweetheart to her limits. She is responding beautifully as we surge forward again into the flow of traffic. Time to put on a show for these passengers. I've eased back on the throttle a touch to maintain speed while we approach that next marker. Should give us just enough time to glide through. Now, where did those other trains go? Hope they're not about to run into me. I'll keep an eye out and navigate carefully around any unexpected traffic. I've dialed back the throttle to stay under the speed limit. Before I reach marker 5, this train is a smooth operator. Now on to the next speed zone. Slowing down now to approach marker 5 carefully. The train is responding well, but I don't want to overshoot the stop. Slowing down as we approach marker 5. Time to stop at the right speed, and time for a brief rest here. Slamming the brakes to stop at marker 6. The train's slowing down nicely under my control. I've tapped the throttle again to maintain speed for the approach to marker 6. The train responds eagerly. Wow! There! I've eased up on the throttle a bit to avoid overshooting marker 6 at this speed. The responsive engine is powerful, but needs a gentle hand. With the throttle set to 60%, I am bringing the speed down smoothly as we close in on marker 6. The train's responsive handling makes it a joy to drive at high speeds like this. As we roll through marker 5, I've dialed back the throttle to a gentle 20%. allowing our speed to slowly taper off. I've tapped the throttle again to smooth out our speed and maintain a steady approach towards Marker 2. We're cruising at a comfortable pace now that I've dialed back the throttle to 20%. I'll keep an eye on the upcoming speed limit markers as we approach Marker 2. I've eased off the throttle completely as we approach Marker 3. The train is coasting smoothly, and I'll let it decelerate naturally. I am gently applying the brakes at Marker 3 to slow down and prepare for a smooth stop at Marker 4, and about 82 meters ahead. I've eased off. The brakes a bit to maintain control as we approach Marker 4 in 200 meters. I've reduced the throttle to maintain a steady speed as we get closer to Marker 4 at 400 meters away. The brakes are off, and I am ready for a smooth stop when it is time. Increasing throttle to 40% is a bit aggressive. I'll need to be careful not to overshoot Marker 4 at the last moment. With the throttle at 40%, I am maintaining a good speed as we approach Marker 2 in 3 kilometers. The gradient is gentle, but helping us accelerate. At 60% throttle, we're really gunning it! Be careful not to exceed the 110 kilometers per H limit as we approach Marker 2 in 3 kilometers. I've reduced throttle from 60 to 40%, so we're now cruising at 95 kilometers per H approaching Marker 2 and 3 kilometers with a gentle gradient that is aiding our acceleration. Increased throttle to 80%. Cruising at 110 kilometers per H, approaching Marker 5 in 1.1 kilometers with a gentle gradient. Reduce throttle to 60%. Cruising at 81 kilometers per H, approaching Marker 5 in 1.5 kilometers with a gentle gradient. Increase throttle to 80%. Cruising at 86 kilometers per H, approaching Marker 10 with a gentle gradient. The track ahead appears clear. Reduce throttle to 40%, cruising at 101 kilometers per H, on a slight 0.5% upgrade approaching Marker 3 for Marker 7 in 1.0 kilometers with an upcoming speed limit of 110 kilometers per H. Decreased throttle to 20%, cruising at 96 kilometers per H approaching Marker 6 with a gentle gradient. Increased brakes to 50%, slowing down from 89 kilometers per H, approaching Marker 5 on a level gradient. Brakes released at 0%. cruising smoothly back up to 80 kilometers per h after marker 5 on a gentle downgrade. Increase throttle to 20%, accelerating from 89 kilometers per h as we approach marker 6 on a level gradient. Decreased throttle to 0% as we smoothly pass marker 6 at 89 kilometers per h, settling into cruise speed for the next segment. Increased brakes to 53%, slowing quickly from 56 kilometers per h after marker 7. Well, hello to you two, Ezer. I am not sad, but feeling more like feeling melancholy as we approach this next marker. It is a bit of a downer to be slowing way down here after coasting along at 90 kilometers per h in such good spirits. The brakes feel extra heavy, like they're dragging us down too somehow. Plus the gray clouds and gusty wind out there make everything seem a little gloomy right now as we approach this next marker. But I am sure it will pick back up once we get moving again. No need to worry about me, though. Just the mood today, as we ride the rails through these autumn colors, you know. Can't let the blues keep us from enjoying the journey all the way to Shinjuku. Increased throttle to 40%, slowly picking up speed again after marker 8 as we approach marker 11, though still well under the limit at just 47 kilometers per h. The brakes release was definitely needed, but I hate how slow everything moves when you are bringing a train down like that. But hey, onward and upward, or rather, forward and faster. Let's go! I know, but sometimes a girl just needs to tap the brakes and slow things down for a bit. Don't get all worked up about it. I'll be back up to speed in no time. Just enjoying this moment of stillness on this quiet stretch of tracks between markers 7 and 11. No need to rush into anything. Let's take a little breather here, shall we? You're making much too much of my mood swings. I am totally in control behind the controls. Decrease throttle to 60% after marker 9 on straightaway towards marker 10, accelerating back up from 69 kilometers per h, but braking too slow for this gentle grade. Decrease throttle to 40%. Accelerating smoothly from 69 kilometers per h after marker 9, but brake too quickly on a gentle uphill grade at 75% speed of limit. Increase throttle to 60%, accelerating smoothly from 74 kilometers per h as we approached marker 10. The gradient here is flat, so speed should remain steady. Increase throttle to 40%, accelerating smoothly from 75 kilometers per h near marker 10 with a flat gradient and gentle speed increase. Increase throttle to 60%, accelerating smoothly from 76 kilometers per h near marker 11 with a slight uphill gradient of 0.4%. Rang the bell as we approached marker 11 at 78 kilometers per h with a gentle uphill gradient and steady throttle setting. Decreased throttle to 60% as we passed marker 12 at 91 kilometers per h on a gentle uphill slope, with the speed limit increasing ahead to 110 kilometers per h, with a steeper 1% incline at marker 12. Decreased throttle to 40% to maintain steady cruising speed of 92 kilometers per h, and gently approach the next upcoming speed limit of 110 kilometers per h. Increased throttle to 80% as we approached marker 13 at 83 kilometers per h with a steep uphill gradient of 1.6%. Decreased throttle to 60% after passing marker 13 at 83 kilometers per h on a moderate downhill gradient and steady speed limit of 110 kilometers per h. Decreased throttle to 60% as we approached marker 14 at 98 kilometers per h on a level stretch of track. Decreased throttle to 40% after passing marker 14 at 100 kilometers per h on a flat stretch of track. Decreased throttle to 20% as we approached marker 15 at 110 kilometers per h on a gentle downgrade of minus 4.8%. Decreased throttle to 0% as we approached marker 15 at 115 kilometers per h on a gentle downgrade of minus 0.5%. I do feel happier when I get to drive the train with you. The wind in my hair and the scenery rushing by. 'Tis like flying. Thanks for the kind words, Ezra. It means a lot coming from you. Decreased throttle to 40% as we approached marker 17 at 54 kilometers per h on a level gradient of 0%. The train's accelerating smoothly. I think we'll make good time getting into Hakone. Increased throttle to 80% on a gentle upgrade of 0.9%. Train accelerating nicely. Looking forward to seeing the sights around Hakone. Throttled up to 100% on the rise towards Hakone. This train is a real powerhouse. Can't wait to show off the view from the observation car. Decreased throttle to 60%, cruising at 86 kilometers per h on a 1% grade towards Hakone with 4.5 kilometers to next marker 28. Approaching marker 19 at 95 kilometers per h with throttle reduced to 60%. preparing for upcoming 70 kilometers per h speed limit and marker 27 in 3 kilometers. Decrease throttle to 40%. Cruising at 98 kilometers per h towards marker 22 with upcoming speed limit reduction to 70 kilometers per h in 3 kilometers. Approaching marker 28. Decrease throttle to cruise at 97.5 kilometers per h with a 110 kilometers per h limit in 3 kilometers. Decrease throttle to 20%. Cruising at 96.8 kilometers per h on a gentle 1.6% upgrade before marker 27 in 1.5 kilometers. Decreased throttle to 0%. As we slow down from 88 kilometers per h while climbing a gentle 1.3% upgrade before marker 27. Decreased throttle to 20% as we slowly approach marker 23 at just 53.9 kilometers per h on a steeper 2.8% upgrade in 200 m. Decrease throttle to 20%, coasting at 53 kilometers per h approaching marker 23 with a level track ahead in 2 meters. Decrease throttle to 20% while cruising at 55.9 kilometers per h as we approach marker 25 on a level track with a speed limit increasing to 110 kilometers per h in 20 meters. Decrease throttle to 0%, slowing down to 54.8 kilometers per h, approaching marker 24 with an upcoming speed limit of 110 kilometers per h in 200 meters. Increase brakes to 7% at marker 24 as speed drops to 52 kilometers per h. Continuing to slow down, approaching the next marker 4 in 400 meters. Increase throttle to 40% on a gentle 1.3% uphill grade at marker 24. Accelerating from 61.5 kilometers per h towards marker 27 in 1,500 m. Decrease throttle to 20% after marker 24. Cruising at 61.6 kilometers per h with a projected speed of 69.5 kilometers per h on flat tracks towards marker 25 in 1.3 kilometers. Decrease throttle to 0% at marker 25, maintaining speed of 60.8 kilometers per h as we approach marker 26 in 1.5 kilometers. Decrease throttle to 40% at marker 28, accelerating to 68.2 kilometers per h as we approach the next marker on a gentle 0.4% upgrade. Turned off the front lights as we transition from marker 26, cruising at 68.7 kilometers per h on a gentle upgrade with throttle set to 40%. Decrease throttle to 20%, increasing speed from 68.7 kilometers per h down a -1% grade as we depart marker 26. Increase throttle to 40%, accelerating from 73.6 kilometers per h on a -1% grade after marker 26 towards marker 27. Increased to 60%, accelerating from 81.0 kilometers per h on level track towards Courtier. The grade is helpful, but I don't want to overshoot our next stop. Decrease throttle to 60% as we enter marker 28 at 98 kilometers per h, slowing gently on the -0.4% grade. Decreased throttle to 40% as we continue through marker 28 at 108.8 kilometers per h, descending on a -3.1% grade. Increase throttle back to 40% as we pass marker 29 at 105.2 kilometers per h on a level track. This should help us maintain smooth cruising speed without exceeding the 110 kilometers per h limit. Decrease throttle to 40% at marker 30 as we descend on a -2.2% grade, keeping speed under the 110 kilometers per h limit. Reduce throttle to 20% at marker 32 as we continue descending gently on a -0.9% grade. Increase throttle to 20% at marker 31 as we descend gently on a -0.7% grade, maintaining our speed. Decrease throttle to 0% at marker 32 as we continue descending on a -0.9% grade while cruising comfortably. Increased brakes to 50% at marker 33 as we start slowing down from 119.8 kilometers per h while descending on a -0.9% grade. Decrease brakes to 20% at marker 35 as we approach level track after descending from the -0.9% grade. Decreased throttle to 0% as we transition from marker 35 on a gentle -1.0% downgrade before the level section ahead. Increased brakes to 50% at marker 37 as we approach level track after descending from the minus 1.0% downgrade section before the station stop. Turned on front lights at marker 36 as we approach a station stop on minus 1.9% grade section with a speed of 73 kilometers per h. Decrease brakes to 0% at marker 38 as we transition from the station stop on level track before accelerating for the next 3-kilometer segment to marker 44 with a speed limit of 110 kilometers per h ahead. Maintaining brakes at 0% to hold speed as we transition from marker 37 to accelerate towards the upcoming 110 kilometers per h limit ahead. Increase throttle to 20% as we cross marker 37 on a minus 3.2% grade to accelerate towards the 110 kilometers per h limit ahead. Decrease throttle to 20% as we transition from marker 37 to maintain speed after reaching the 110 kilometers per h limit at marker 38. Applied brakes to 0% at marker 38 as we decelerate from 110 kilometers per h. Increase throttle to 20% at marker 40 as we regain speed after braking. Decrease throttle to 20% at marker 39 as we approach the upcoming 70 kilometers per h limit. Increased throttle to 40% as we cruise past marker 39, maintaining speed around 64 kilometers per h on a gentle downgrade. Decrease throttle to 0% at marker 40 as we coast at 76 kilometers per h, approaching the upcoming 70 kilometers per h speed limit. Increasing throttle to 80% as we climb a gentle incline. After marker 41, the Odakyu 2000 series should handle the acceleration, well, without issue. Decrease throttle to 60% on incline after marker 41 as we maintain smooth acceleration towards upcoming speed limit. Decrease Decrease throttle to 40% after marker 45 as we crest the incline, and begin gentle descent towards upcoming markers smoothly. Increase throttle to 60% after marker 42 on flat track as we maintain smooth acceleration towards the speed limit of 110 kilometers per h. Increase throttle to 60% on gentle incline after marker 45, maintaining smooth acceleration towards upcoming markers and speed limit. Decrease throttle to 40% as we maintain smooth speed on slight incline past marker 45. Decrease throttle to 20% after marker 45 as we cruise downhill from gentle incline at 89 kilometers per h, remaining well below the limit. Smooth acceleration ahead. Decrease throttle to 0% as we maintain speed at 92 kilometers per h on gentle descent. Past marker 46. Increase throttle to 20% after marker 46 on level track, accelerating smoothly towards speed limit of 110 kilometers per h as we pass the previous descent. Increase throttle to 40% after marker 47, maintaining smooth acceleration towards speed limit and upcoming markers. Accelerating the Odakyu 2000 series at 60% throttle on a gentle upgrade past marker 49, projected to exceed speed limit if maintained. Odakyu 2000 series, street easily climbing at 80% throttle towards the next marker and speed limit ahead. Odakyu 2000 series, cruising at 60% throttle, with reduced speed near upcoming marker and speed limit of 35 kilometers per h. Odakyu 2000 series, gently slowing down to 66.5 kilometers per h at 20% throttle with smooth approach to marker and upcoming speed limit. Odakyu 2000 series maintains speed at marker 50 before accelerating towards the upcoming speed limit of 110 kilometers per h. Odakyu 2000 series surges forward at full throttle as we rapidly approach the upcoming 110 kilometers per h speed limit marker. Odakyu 2000 series street steadily accelerates as we approach the 110 kilometers per h speed limit marker on this beautiful autumn day. Odakyu 2000 series smoothly accelerates past the previous marker as we rapidly close in on the upcoming speed limit of 110 kilometers per h. The Odakyu 2000 series cruises smoothly at 75 kilometers per h as we approach the next marker with a gentle throttle. The Odakyu 2000 series slows gently to 71 kilometers per h as we approach the next marker with a soft touch on the throttle. The Odakyu 2000 series maintains a steady pace at 71 kilometers per h, with the throttle set to 40% as we near marker 56 on this beautiful autumn day. That is a bummer. It was so much fun driving the Odakyu 2000 series together today on this beautiful autumn day. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week and we can definitely pick up right where we left off next time. Can't wait to see what silly costume ideas you come up with for our next stream. Safe travels, my friend. Well, I hope everyone had a blast joining us on this scenic autumn train ride. It is always so much fun to share these moments with all of you. Just a reminder that we'll be back together again next Saturday, the 29th of August at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for more silly hijinks and sweet simple pleasures. Until then, I hope each and every one of you has a wonderful rest of your week. Stay safe out there in this crazy world. Talk to you all soon.